We're facing certain defeat on land, the annihilation of our army, and imminent invasion. We must negotiate peace talks.
When will the lesson be learned? You cannot reason with a tiger when your head is in its mouth!
Nonsense. The only slippery slope.
Would you stop interrupting me while I am interrupting you?
Hello, welcome to another review. Now, award season is coming up. There's quite a few films vying for Best Picture, and another one I'm going to look at is Darkest Hour, which is out in cinemas now, and it gives Gary Oldman a turn as Prime Minister Winston Churchill, after Brian Cox's Churchill last year, but with Oldman as the man at the time of the Dunkirk evacuations, which was so incredibly portrayed last year by Christopher Nolan's IMAX epic Dunkirk. Now, Nolan's film is quite a visual feast, but Cox's turn has been rather trampled underfoot, even though it's a slightly better film as a whole than this one. Now, with everyone sick of their current incumbent, Neville Chamberlain, given Hitler's progress in Europe, Churchill seems to be the only one that all sides will actually either like or at least put up with for a while. But Darkest Hour itself as a film is quite a mixed bag, so let's deal with the good stuff first. Now, Gary Oldman makes for quite an amusing Churchill, and rather better than I was expecting, given that he doesn't really look like him. But, a lot of makeup has helped with that. That said, there's a time just after his first radio speech where he looks more like the stretched face of Lady Cassandra in Doctor Who's episode The End of the World. If you remember that one, it's the one where this Lady Cassandra, she was just like a stretched piece of skin with just eyes and a mouth going, "Moisturise me, moisturise me." Yeah, Russell T Davies, a charlatan. Anyway, as Churchill agrees to become Prime Minister, King George VI arranges the day that they'll meet each week, suggesting Mondays at 4 p.m, to which comes a reply, "I nap at 4 p.m. The King asks, "Is that permissible?" And Churchill wryly responds, "No, but necessary. I work late." Plus later, when he's told he has to reply to the Lord Privy Seal, he retorts from the loo, "Tell the Lord Privy Seal that I am sealed in the privy, and that I can only deal with one shit at a time." Ronald Pickup is also quite wonderful as Neville Chamberlain, making up part of Churchill's war cabinet, with the rest of his opponents mostly scowling a lot. But now on to the downsides. Yeah, there are downsides. It's just so bloody ponderous as a film, and it really makes Dunkirk Operation Dynamo drag big time. Even though we get to that, when we get to that point once we're at war, the score briefly attempts to keep up the pace and the tension by having a constant beat, similar to Christopher Nolan's film. In fact, too much of this film's overlong running time goes into the nitty-gritty of the war, who'll be allies with Britain, who will help broker peace between Britain and Germany, and so on. It just makes it drag so much. Then, when a young woman meets Churchill late on in the film, down the London Underground, she curtsies as if he's royalty. Yeah, would anyone do the same for David Cameron or Theresa May? Not if they're sane. In fact, there's a scene where he meets a great number of members of the public in one particular location, and they all look at him as if he's the second coming. I don't know if that happened in reality, and it probably didn't, but it feels like some sort of fantasy sequence where the film really jumps a shark. To that end, the credits do say that some scenes have been fictionalised. I would bet my house that is one of them. In fact, it just needs cutting out altogether. Now, watching this film not long after both Churchill and another World War II set movie, Their Finest, when you see the underground tunnels at number 10, it does feel like I'm watching the same film crossing over each other, and you keep expecting them to walk onto each other's sets. Historians will probably love Darkest Hour, but if you enjoyed Christopher Nolan's Dunkirk and are thinking that this will be an engaging companion piece, to see Churchill's side of things, you're sorely mistaken. The trailer makes it feel, to me at least, like far more of a comedy than it actually is. Especially with Oldman's bellowing line, "Will you stop interrupting me while I am interrupting you?" Since once it gets to the halfway point and starts to focus on Operation Dynamo, it really gets bogged down in that nitty-gritty, and quite boring, which is exactly what Nolan's Dunkirk completely managed to avoid. So, Darkest Hour. What do you think of the film? And what do you think of my review? Please like and share this video, and also subscribe if you haven't done already. I'll catch you next time, and Q Genesis.